there are lawyers. Then there is a champion for justice, Attorney Stephen Stubbs.
Stephen Stubbs fights for justice every day. Stephen Stubbs.
I'm Las Vegas attorney Stephen Stubbs, and I'm about to explain Nevada's concealed carry laws dealing with knives. I am fully aware there are other weapons you can conceal on your person. Those are different laws. I'm not going to talk about those laws. I'm going to talk about Nevada's concealed carry laws dealing with knives. Also notice I didn't say possession. Possession laws are totally different. I'm not going to deal with those laws either. I'm dealing with Nevada's concealed carry laws dealing with knives. That's clear. We'll move on. Concealed carry laws in Nevada deal with concealed carry on your person. That means on your body or your clothing or in a bag or something else that is attached to you. So if you're a dude sporting a man purse, that's on your person. If you're also got some kind of fanny pack, more power to you. That's on your person too. Obviously, if you're carrying a briefcase, that's attached to your person as well. However, if the briefcase is over there or somewhere else not attached to you, guess what? That's not on your person and those laws don't apply. Now, concealed is defined as something that is not discernible by ordinary observation. That means that if grandma's looking at you and doesn't know what you have, it's concealed. So whether it's in your pocket or under your jacket, in your bag that's closed, or even if it's out, but it somehow gets covered by your hair or anything else, that is concealed, and the concealed weapons laws apply there. Now, dealing with knives. 2015, Nevada completely revamped their laws with the Nevada legislature. They had a whole list of kinds of knives that it was illegal to conceal. That list is no longer there. There's no longer a list of knives. So in Nevada's general laws, there are no longer specific knives that are illegal to conceal. However, it is still a felony to conceal a, quote, deadly or dangerous weapon. Now, the state of Nevada doesn't define that. The state allows municipalities to define that. And municipalities can define certain kind of knives within their codes as deadly or dangerous weapons. That's exactly what North Las Vegas did. After the legislative session, North Las Vegas, they revamped their codes as well, and they defined deadly or dangerous weapon as dirks, daggers. They also said any kind of a stabbing tool. I'm going to count that with knives. And then also any knife with a blade 3 inches or longer. So if the blade of your knife is 3 inches or longer, you cannot conceal it in North Las Vegas because it's a felony in Nevada to conceal a deadly or dangerous weapon. And within North Las Vegas, their specific code says that a knife with a blade 3 inches or longer is a deadly or dangerous weapon. How do you measure that? Well, you take the blade and you take the ruler and you start at the blade. You don't start at the metal part. You start at the sharp part, the blade, and then you roll it up. This one here is a little over 4 inches, okay? I could not, even though it folds up, even though it can go in a pocket, if I'm in North Las Vegas, I would be a felon if I put this knife in my pocket. This one as well. If we measure this one, it's at 3.5 inches. So 3.5 inches. Even though this is a pocket knife, designed to be a pocket knife, if I stick it in my pocket and I go to North Las Vegas, guess what? I can be a felon. However, these are much smaller. This Leatherman here, if we measure that, that is, starting with the blade, 2 3/4 inches. You can have this in your pocket, no problem, in North Las Vegas. Along with this Boy Scout pocket knife, if we wanted to measure that, we'd simply measure that, and that's at 2 1/4 inches. So 2 1/4 inches, you can certainly conceal that. So North Las Vegas, that's an interesting beast. Las Vegas and Henderson and even Clark County Incorporated, they decided to do something else. They simply repealed their deadly or dangerous weapon definitions in their municipal codes. Now, it was attached to a whole bunch of other stuff that they thought didn't apply because of the new laws. So I don't think they meant to repeal those definitions, but they did. They repealed the definitions. So currently, if you're in Clark County or Las Vegas, Clark County Incorporated or Las Vegas or Henderson, There is no definition for deadly or dangerous weapon. So I have to think that would revert to what it was like in Boulder City, because Boulder City's never had a definition. The way that they've enforced the laws in Boulder City is if you use something as a deadly or dangerous weapon, then it is a deadly or dangerous weapon, because obviously you used it as such. And it doesn't matter if it's a stiletto heel or a knife or whatever. If you use it as a deadly or dangerous weapon, it is a deadly or dangerous weapon. There are some fears in the legal community that a broader definition will be applied. I don't want to be the test case, and so I'm playing it safe. But if you were just to look at Merriam-Webster and define weapon and define deadly or dangerous, it's a very broad, very, very broad law. So actually under that, this Boy Scout utility knife, pocket knife, this would be a deadly or dangerous weapon under just the very broad Merriam-Webster definition. Nobody thinks, though, that the legislature and the municipalities wanted to make Boy Scouts felons. So that's on the far end of it. We've got another end over here to where you look at something and you think, yeah, do you know what? That's probably not a tool. Because knives are tools. They can be used as tools, and they're great tools. I use knives all the time. But there's a difference between a Boy Scout utility knife or a Leatherman, or even this tool knife. It's got some different tools on it. And something that you look at and think, do you know what? That's probably not a tool, even if you use it as a leather opener. For instance, this knife here, it's a Wartech USA, just the name, right? Wartech tactical knife that has a polycarbonate knuckle on it. Now, before you say, oh, you're not allowed to possess metal knuckles. Yeah, I know that. This isn't metal. This is polycarbonate. Kind of interesting area of the law. So this is actually legal, although you could get arrested for it because of probable cause standard. But this is a pretty scary looking knife. And this is a knife that I could see a police officer arresting someone with under the deadly or dangerous weapon statutes. So I will not be concealing this knife because I don't want to be the test case. I can argue that it's a tool. I can argue a number of things. There are legal arguments to be made, and maybe you win. Maybe you don't. I don't want to be the test case. Another thing to talk about is the length of the knife. Some people think that if it's a long knife, then it's not a tool that you need to be carrying around. I could totally see a police officer and the district attorney prosecuting and pushing for prosecution of concealing this knife. This is not a knife I will be concealing because I don't want to be the test case. So yeah, I'm not going to do that. This is specifically, it was a gift, is throwing knives. Now this is dirk or dagger because it's two blades, two-sided blades. But these are specifically throwing knives. Again, I prefer not to be the test case, so I won't be concealing these. This is a question here. It's a big question because these are real gray areas. Because these are pocket knives. They're black. I mean, I guess they look a little scary because they're painted. But this says Smith & Wesson Tactical Special or Special Tactical. It's a big gray area of whether you can put this in your pocket. It is a pocket knife, but there is a real possibility that the police and the district attorney will decide that they're going to prosecute you even for putting a pocket knife like this in your pocket because it's got jagged edges. They could look at this. They could think this could be a deadly or dangerous weapon. This is kind of interesting because this is actually marketed as a tool for paramedics. It's got a little blade here to cut the seatbelt off of somebody in an emergency. They got this part that's meant to break glass. This knife is marketed specifically to paramedics as a tool. If you keep it in your car, you're probably safe there for sure. But this is not something that I feel comfortable concealed carrying, even though I might be able to beat it in court. It's just the facts and circumstances of this knife. It's very likely that the DA and the police will consider this a deadly or dangerous weapon. So I'm going to play it safe, and I don't want to be the test case here. And size matters, right? I really doubt that they'll call these little tiny knives deadly or dangerous weapons. I just really doubt it. Now, going away from the felonies, Clark County Incorporated also has a specific code dealing with any knife 3 inches or longer in the blade. And it makes it a misdemeanor to conceal upon your person in Clark County Incorporated any knife that has a blade that's 3 inches or longer. So obviously these ones that are longer, it's a misdemeanor to conceal those. But that's not dealing with the deadly or dangerous weapon statute. That's dealing with local municipalities, which are allowed to do. So we've got the overriding state laws, the local and municipal laws, they still apply. And that's your explanation. I wish I had more specifics for you. And frankly, I wish that the local municipalities just simply defined deadly or dangerous weapon instead of repealing it altogether, but that's not what they did. And those are the concealed carry weapons laws dealing with knives in Nevada.
Steven